Hey YouTube, this is Sean. In today's video, I'm going to discuss very briefly how much you should charge as a private investigator. I am no way setting an industry standard at all. I'm just laying out a ballpark figure that you can play with, assuming that you have no knowledge of how much to charge in the private investigator industry. Number one, call around. Ask other private investigators if they're willing to give this information to you. Ask them, how much do you charge? That's why it's a good idea to join a private investigator association in your state. Join the association. These fellow members are most likely going to disclose how much they charge, because sometimes to other people it's a secret. I begin with the pay rate for a FBI agent. They typically get paid $75,000 a year. That amounts to about $40 an hour. This does not involve locality pay. If you work in Los Angeles, New York, major cities, you're going to get paid more from the FBI. Next, what I do is I timed it. So, FBI agent, average salary, $75,000 a year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to times it. So, that's about $80 an hour that I would consider a number right now to play with. Charge more if you want. If you are into computer forensics, you should be charging more than $100 an hour. Some investigators charge $25 an hour, and it's totally up to you. This is the thing. An FBI agent or a detective for a law enforcement agency does not have to pay for overhead cost. They don't have to pay for the AC, utilities, water, power, anything else. Rent, they don't have to pay for that. They don't pay a mortgage either. They don't have to pay to use the databases that are restricted to law enforcement agencies or public service agencies. But as a private investigator, that's expense that you have to cough out of your pocket. Another thing is this: when I have to retrieve a database or retrieve information from a database, I 4X it. So the service costs me $10. I'm going to charge them $40 on top of the private investigator fees. You also should be charging for preparation fees. So if you need to do surveillance, just don't charge when you arrive on scene. You got to be charging hours of preparing. If you have to go on Google Maps or drive around the neighborhood, you should be charging for that the moment you leave the office or the house, because you're going to end up not having a lot of money left at the end of it. This is a business, okay? Remember, public detectives or investigators don't have to pay for operating expenses, but you do. So that is why $80 is a number that you can definitely work with. I think it's a reasonable number. I charge about $100 an hour, but right now I'm not even accepting cases. But if I were to begin again, then I'd be charging $100 an hour. Also, charge on the level of difficulty. You have a more difficult assignment, requires more exposure to risk. You should be charging a lot more than the numbers I just gave to you. I hope this helps. Hopefully you have a ballpark figure on where to begin, and continue watching my channel for future videos. And please press the like button, subscribe, comment if you have any questions. Thank you, and be safe out there.